You talk a lot about morale boosters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, candy's a big morale booster. I hear that around the campsite all the time. And like, how
Yes.
important is that compared to just like physical boosters?
Yeah, dude. I feel like morale's more important than like physicality. Because like I said, it's like your skin hurts. You got to like train your skin for these trips. And
Yeah,
I don't hike regularly because it takes a lot of time, so you can't really get your skin prepared. And it's just like, it's humid. I mean, it was so humid when we were hiking. I was
yeah,
drenched.
I was sweating a lot.
yeah.
So
I
what,
feel like,
besides candy, what other morale boosters do you do? Or what do you kind of try to do?
Slaps on the butt.
yeah, dude, we have chants. We have like the many men chants. We have like a chant that we do, which we didn't even get to do it because I don't know if we forgot. We were getting ready to do it for you guys, but I guess we just didn't get around to it. We have a whole chant that we do,
And
and
the boom song, too.
yeah, I Benji Boom. Another morale boost. I mean, like we brought that vodka along, like
Yeah.
just like a fire.
Yeah.
Man, we were bougie on this trip. A fire is really a morale booster.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
we had so many fires.
Yeah.
this trip, man.
Yeah, that's why I like to bring coffee on them. It's kind of a nice morale boost in the morning, just to almost feels kind of like an everyday type thing, which is nice. So,
Yeah.
all right, curious. I know you love misery on these trips.
Hell yeah.
So, with you, misery versus morale boosting, where's
Well, honestly, if I could have the best ever, and like this is when my morale is the highest, is when everyone's like mad and like they're hurting real bad, and like when everyone's like, "Oh, this isn't too bad," I'm like, "Damn, this
What
is
can I
kind of
do?
bad." Like yeah, it's like kind of hard on me. It's like, damn, this is a little bit hard for me, and everyone's thinking this is easy. Like that's when my morale is actually like some of the lowest. When everyone's higher, it's like always inverse with me. I don't know what it is, but my favorite is when it's storming, raining, super cold. Ah, you can't beat that. You cannot beat a bad thunderstorm.
That's hilarious. I love that you say you can't beat it.
You
Everyone
get to see what people are made of.
Yeah,
yeah,
for real. So many people are like, oh, that's the worst. I can't imagine. But that's when the true like memories and character comes out.
mm-hmm.
I mean, and then down to the
Yeah,
tent.
and it's like tribal.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's when you tell these stories too, everyone's like, "Oh, that sounds so cool!" Like, I kind of wish I've done that, but no one ever really does. It seems like only a few will actually put themselves through that misery.
Yeah, I mean, just think of all the stories that you tell people. Like, how often are they comfortable?
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Yeah, the ones that
That's
are
a good point.
uncomfortable are always fun to tell.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's never like, oh, I was on the beach, like sipping a margarita. Like that's like all you get. That's it. That's all there is to that story.
Yeah.
That's a lame story.
yeah, you
Yeah,
can't
there's
draw
not much.
anyone in with that.
No. What's your favorite besides the misery? What's your favorite part about backpacking? What do you look
Well,
forward to?
I like especially the mountains. So like I've hiked out in the Midwest, like Wisconsin, which is lame, so lame out there. It's just hills. But where we were was actually pretty sweet. It was pretty dope. But like when you're in the Rockies, and that's my favorite place to hike is the Rockies. It's super mountainous,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so steep that like there's switchbacks, and you could be like going up like 100 feet, and it takes you like like 30 minutes, and I can get ahead of people by grinding real hard, and I like to get to the top of the mountain like as fast as I can so I could watch everyone, and they're not far from me. They're in shouting distance, but they're still like an hour away because they have to go up so slow. So I just talk shit to them when I'm on top of the mountain, and they're like laying on the ground, like it's so funny.
That's
But when you go up on top of that mountain, you could see like all the like what you accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
You could see how far you
Yeah.
came, and the weather up there is different.
Yeah. That's one thing you mentioned on this trip. You were like, it's like a really steady incline a lot of the time. And you're like, you can't really see your work. Like, you look back and it looks the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, the misery.
Yeah, and the misery, we go back to the misery. But then when you go down the mountain too, you get straight speed. So it's like a hit workout, you know? It's like you go real fast or you go up real slow. It's really hard. And then when you go down, you can like sprint down the mountain, and now it's like a whole different vibe. Everyone's just like going super fast, and it's fun.
Yeah, I remember one time you told me hiking is like a constant hit workout, like the whole time. Just kind of explain what you mean by that a little bit.
So, like when you're hiking, you know, you gain elevation. When you gain elevation, that's when it's like really hard, and you're sweating and you're gritting your teeth. So that would be like the on cycle of the hit. And then once you start descending, I mean, you could really start cooking and going really fast, and it's easy on your cardiovascularly. It's easier on you, but it's hard on your muscles. I'm talking with Braden and Ben.
Is that Michelle?
Doing like a podcast.
There's the star of the trip.
Michelle, how was the backpacking trip we went on?
Can you hear him?
Here, talk again.
There's the star of the trip, right there.
Get out of here.
Michelle,
I think it's just brand. I was like, what?
How'd you like the tent?
The tent sucked. I'm getting a ham.
Not as bad as the bugs, though, huh?
What?
Not as bad as the bugs, though?
No, dude, I was so beat up. Everyone at work told me I had chiggers.
Oh, really?
Oh, you really got chiggers?
No, it was mosquito.
But it looked like we had mosquitoes all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a mosquito.
Yeah. Alex, I was gonna say, I am proud of Michelle for doing that. I mean, how do you like having the only girl, like, as your girlfriend come on the trip?
I mean, it's cool, like, that she's a badass, because we did that 26-mile trip where we actually thought, like, it was like life or death at that last trip, and she was there, and I was like, dude, like, if we had anyone else, like, we could really be in trouble, but luckily everyone just kept trucking. But I mean, that's why I'm with her, because I know she's like a beast like this. I mean, I don't really know many other girls who would beast it like her.
I know.
What are your thoughts on this? So I've heard with traveling that if you can travel with somebody, then you can last the rest of your life with them. Do you think it kind of applies backpacking, or?
Yeah, well, I think you build the strongest relationships when you're backpacking, because like when it is hard, you have to be there for each other. You all have your own jobs, and you really are looking out for your tribe kind of thing. Like if someone skimps on their part, well, that means someone else is going to have to do it. And you don't want, your buddy to do the job that you skimped on, because that's just more work for him. And you see them doing it. It's like, wow, I'm on my butt doing nothing while he's doing the job I should have been doing. And, it's kind of like almost like a socialistic culture, it's like socialism out there, but socialism works in small groups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to take care of the weaker links, for lack of a better term. And
well, it's kind of like you try to find, it seems like, everyone's best suited job.
Yeah, because everyone has a something they're good at. Like the weakest links could be great at making a fire or something like that. The one thing that is tough is when they don't have mental fortitude, like the mental capacity. That's a huge game. Like in terms of skills and physicality, everyone, has pros and cons. But if there's someone in your group that's just like wants to sit down and be like, I'm done, that could be more detrimental than anything.
Yeah, put strain on the whole group. I mean, my very first backpacking trip was with my grad school friends in Colorado. And, dude, they were not in shape. they were not in shape at all. So we had to summit these mountains. We were summiting 4 mountains on this trip. It was a 5-day trip, and they were 14ers. Like, they were big ass mountains.
Mhm.
It probably was not the, like, looking back, was not the best first trip to do, but it was my favorite trip because it was so miserable. It was so bad. It rained every day. We didn't see the sun until the last day, and there's a picture that we took that we were so, like, grateful for the sun. But the people, there was like 8 of us, right? And there was a scout team. It was me, Michelle, and my boy Patrick. Our group was so slow that we had to go way out ahead, find campsite before dark, set up camp for them because it's going to take them into the night to get to us, to get to the camp. So we'd set up the camp. We'd even hike back to, like, help them, like, morale take some of their shit. So we would go there, and they would be so mad because we had to go so far, but there was no other camp spots. We're like, dude, we had to go ahead to set up camp because there isn't any, and we had to do, like, this illegal camp spot because it was so bad. It said no camping here at all, restoration. We had to because our group was lagging so bad, and we didn't even go that far, like 8 miles.
Really? Dang.
Like, what are you guys on? Yes. And we would summit the mountains at the worst time, between 11 and 2. When did we summit every single mountain? Between 11 and 2. So we'd get up on top of the mountain. It would storm because it stormed, like, every day from 11 to 2. We got to hurry off this mountain. Like, it was so stressful. I'm like at the top of the mountain, like, we made it, but it was bad.
So had a lot of them, like, never hiked like that before?
Yeah.
Not even a little bit?
I mean, one of them had experience backpacking. That was it. And she was not doing well. She was not in good shape. She's like, yeah, this is the worst because everything's wet. I didn't have a rain fly. This is so bad. I bought a single person tent, and I didn't even open it. I just saw on the picture that there was a rain fly. And it's a Walmart tent. It's a Walmart tent. I only had one sleeping bag for me and Michelle, and it's a 1-person sleeping bag. And I didn't even test out what it would be like with 2 people in it. Well, it rains every day. I didn't have a rain fly. I had to go underneath trees as best I could. Well, it's raining in our tent. We're wet at night. And I told her, dude, you got to take your clothes off because they're wet. And I have my dry clothes for sleeping. I want to at least keep them dry. She's like, nope, I'm keeping them on. So her wet clothes got all my dry clothes wet. So we had to boil water at night and an Nalgene, put it between our thighs to keep us warm at night.
Dang.
Wow.
Dude, I was shivering. I shivered. I didn't sleep hardly at all that whole trip, but it was lit. It was lit. It was awesome.
It was lit.
I'm not even kidding. It was so hard. Oh,
That's hilarious.
but yeah, highly underprepared. Highly.